Hey y'all, it's October 17th, 2025. I'm Grace Townsend.
And I'm Riley Vega. Welcome to Eternal Grace, your daily dose of progressive truth in a world that keeps trying to gaslight us.
And baby, today is heavy. We've got a shutdown entering day 17, Trump authorizing CIA covert operations in Venezuela, and a group of former intelligence officers warning that America is officially on a trajectory toward authoritarianism.
So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's talk about it.
Let's start with the shutdown because it affects everything else. We're now on day 17, heading toward one of the longest shutdowns in American history.
The Senate voted again yesterday to try to pass a funding bill. That's the 10th time they've tried. And for the 10th time, it failed.
Because here's what's happening. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, but they need 60 votes in the Senate to avoid a filibuster. And Democrats are refusing to vote yes unless Republicans restore Medicaid funding and extend Affordable Care Act subsidies.
Which, by the way, is totally reasonable because Republicans cut Medicaid and ACA subsidies are about to expire, which means millions of Americans will lose affordable health care.
But instead of negotiating in good faith, Trump is doing what Trump does. He's using the shutdown as a weapon. Yesterday he said, and I quote, "We are closing up Democrat programs that we disagree with, and they're never going to open again."
Not programs that don't work, not wasteful programs, Democrat programs. He's literally saying the quiet part out loud. This is about partisan punishment.
And yesterday, a federal judge blocked Trump's mass layoffs during the shutdown. Judge Susan Ilston said Trump's explicit political motivations, like saying he's targeting Democrat agencies, are illegal.
But the Trump administration is planning to fire more than 10,000 federal workers. Russell Vought, the Trump budget director, went on the late Charlie Kirk's podcast and said they're targeting Green New Deal programs, the Minority Business Development Agency, and environmental justice programs.
So let me be clear about what this is. This isn't about balancing the budget. This is about dismantling the parts of government that help marginalized communities, protect the environment, and advance equity.
And meanwhile, 42 million Americans who rely on SNAP benefits, food stamps, got a letter this week saying there might not be enough money to pay November benefits if the shutdown continues.
Poignantly, but Trump made sure the military got paid. And he made sure FBI agents got paid because he controls them. But Capitol Police, the people protecting Congress, they miss their paychecks.
This is strategic. Trump is keeping the parts of government he needs, law enforcement, military, while starving everything else.
And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the shutdown is costing the economy $15 billion a day. But he's blaming Democrats, saying they need to be heroes and vote with Republicans.
They are being heroes by refusing to let Trump destroy healthcare for millions of people.
Exactly. This shutdown isn't about fiscal responsibility. It's about power, and Democrats are standing firm.
Okay, story 2, and this one is terrifying. The New York Times broke the story yesterday. Trump has secretly authorized the CIA to conduct covert action in Venezuela.
Covert action. That means lethal operations. That means the CIA can now carry out missions inside Venezuela to try to overthrow Nicolas Maduro.
For weeks, the U.S. military has been targeting boats off the Venezuelan coast that they say are transporting drugs. They've killed 27 people.
And American officials have been clear privately that the goal isn't really about drugs. It's about driving Maduro from power.
Trump acknowledged this on Wednesday. He said, and I'm quoting, "We are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control."
Translation? We've been bombing boats in international waters. Now we're going to start striking inside Venezuela.
This is a massive escalation, and it's happening with zero public debate, zero congressional approval, zero transparency.
And let's be real about what covert action means. It means the CIA can conduct operations that the American public will never know about. It means assassinations, sabotage, funding opposition groups, destabilizing a sovereign country.
Now, I'm not defending Maduro. He's an authoritarian. He's committed human rights abuses. But the United States doesn't get to just decide to overthrow foreign governments we don't like.
Especially when Trump's doing it unilaterally. No debate, no vote, just Trump deciding he wants regime change in Venezuela and mobilizing the full force of American military and intelligence power to make it happen.
And we know how this story ends, right? We've done this before. Iraq, Libya, Afghanistan. We go in saying we're liberating people, we destabilize entire regions, thousands die, and we leave chaos behind.
But Trump doesn't care about consequences. He cares about looking strong and starting a conflict in Venezuela, especially during a shutdown when he's under political pressure, is a convenient distraction.
This is dangerous. This is reckless, and Americans need to pay attention.
Okay, final story. And this one hit me hard. A group of more than 340 former CIA, NSA, and State Department officials released a report yesterday titled Accelerating Authoritarian Dynamics, an Assessment of Democratic Decline.
They used the same intelligence methods they would use to assess foreign countries, and they turned those tools on the United States.
And their conclusion? With moderate to high confidence, the United States is moving toward what they call competitive authoritarianism, a system where elections and courts still exist, but they're systematically manipulated to consolidate executive power.
One of the analysts, Gail Health, said the speed with which we have devolved away from a fully functioning democracy is startling to me. In most cases, it takes longer than 9 months to get where we are.
9 months? Trump has been back in office for 9 months, and we're already showing the warning signs of authoritarianism?
The report lists the indicators: expansion of executive power through emergency authorities, politicization of law enforcement, attacks on judicial independence, weakening of Congress, undermining of civil society and the press.
And we're seeing all of it. Trump pardoned January 6th rioters. He fired independent watchdogs. He's prosecuting his political enemies, Letitia James, James Comey, threatening to jail Governor Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson.
He's deployed troops to U.S. cities, he's attacked judges, he's threatened universities, and he's systematically trying to purge the federal government of anyone who won't pledge loyalty to him.
The country compares the U.S. to countries like Hungary and Turkey, places where elected leaders kept power by weakening institutions while keeping a democratic facade.
And here's the thing that scares me most. The report says that absent organized resistance from institutions, civil society, and the public, the United States is likely to continue along a path of accelerating democratic erosion.
Which means we have to be that resistance, not someday, not when it gets worse, right now.
These are people who spent their careers studying how democracies collapse, and they're sounding the alarm about our country.
So what do? We show up. We organize. We support the institutions under attack, the courts, the press, civil rights organizations. We vote in every election, and we refuse to normalize this.
Because if we stay silent, if we get numb to the chaos, if we let this become the new normal, we lose.
And I refuse to lose.
That's it for today, y'all. October 17th, 2025. Day 17 of the shutdown, day 274 of Trump's second term, and day 1,000-something of us refusing to give up hope.
Stay informed, stay angry, but also stay kind to each other because this fight is long and we need each other.
We'll be back tomorrow with more news, more truth, and more reasons to keep fighting.
Because even in the mess, there's still light.
And sometimes it looks like us.
Take care of yourselves and each other. Before you go, if this episode resonated with you, there are a few ways you can help us grow.
First, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're putting out daily episodes of Eternal Grace, plus deep dive investigations like our Grace Unfiltered series.
Second, give us a like if you found this valuable. It tells YouTube to show our content to more people who need to hear it.
And here's a new feature you might not know about. It's called Hype. If you see that purple Hype button under this video, click it.
Here's how it works. You can hype up to 3 videos per week from channels under 500,000 subscribers. That's